Hello students, I am your IELTS tutor Jack, and welcome back to another episode of the IELTS Plus English podcast. So welcome back, it's nation and culture today. That's the topic we're dealing with. I think really interesting. I love talking about culture. I have combined it with nation. Nation, of course, talking about your country. Do you like it? Are you proud of it? What's important? So I think there's a lot of crossover with culture, and that's what we're going to do today. If you want today's wonderful vocabulary and expressions, 10 of them, and our questions from today's podcast, go to www.jax-english.com, and there you'll be able to download everything up to today's topic, which is topic 28. Now, just remember, I made this announcement recently, but for those of you who are on a podcast platform, do remember that on YouTube, I provide full subtitles that I have checked. I've gone through them, I've checked them, I've adjusted them, so they are basically perfect and can be a script for you. For those of you on YouTube, thank you for watching. And if you want the convenience of just listening in your pocket, you can find me on all podcast platforms such as Google, Apple, and Spotify. Excellent. That's all the announcements out of the way. And let's just talk about this vocabulary list. If you are looking at it now, you will notice it is so hard. It's so hard. There's some really difficult words. Patriotic, ubiquitous, quintessential. Now, I do apologize for making it so hard, but they are wonderful words. Wonderful words to impress your examiner or impress your friends, and I'd love you to use them. So, in order to punish myself, I'm going to make today one of those episodes where I have to use everything. I don't know if I'll succeed, but I'm going to try to use every single vocabulary or expression in the podcast, and if I use it, you will hear this sound. So you're listening for that sound, and hopefully that will help you hear it in context. I think that's important. So I will say no more. We're going to do some part one, and good luck to me today because it's hard. First question. Which part of your country do you like to live in? I haven't lived in my country for a long time, but if I had the choice, I would live in the Lake District. The Lake District is a wonderful national park in the northwest of England with lots of little villages, big mountains, rivers. It's a beautiful, beautiful place and definitely where I'd want to live. Good, okay. For the regular listeners, you will hear me talk a lot about the Lake District. I really do love it. And if you just search in Google Lake District, you'll see what I'm talking about. Next question. What makes you feel proud of your country? Well, I'm somewhat proud of my country. I wouldn't say I'm patriotic, but I do love some of the culture in England. I'm quite proud of the long history and the wonderful parts of culture, such as the architecture, the food, believe it or not, I think is fantastic. So we have a lot of things that I'm quite proud to talk about, and I like to tell my students, tell my friends and say, oh, you should try this in England. So yeah, that's what makes me proud. Good, okay. I'm doing very badly, by the way. I've only used, I think, one word. Oh dear. Let's go to part two. And today's question is, describe a foreign culture that you are interested in. Okay, well, 2 minutes on the clock, starting now. I'd like to tell you about South Korean culture. About 12 years ago now, I came to Korea for the first time, and my first experience was culture shock, definitely. South Korea is so different to England. It was shockingly different, and it took me about 3 months to really adapt and to feel comfortable living here. I don't know, I think the norms are so different. That's the big thing, like people are so rushed here compared to England. So at first, that can be quite difficult to overcome. But once I did, and once I felt comfortable, I really fell in love with the country and its culture. So let me tell you a little more about South Korean culture. Food is so important. The food in Korea is so diverse. There's so many different types of ingredients and ways of cooking, methods and things like that. It's quite interesting to experience. Things like fermented food is very unusual to a British person. I think the quintessential Korean food or Korean dish would be the barbecue, where you have the pork with all of the side dishes. So to people who haven't experienced Korea, I would recommend the Korean barbecue. I know that is famous globally. Apart from that, I like the buildings, the design, the colors. It's quite unique, the culture, Korean culture, compared to others in this area of the world. For me personally, it's become something I've become very interested in, and somewhere where I consider home, which is quite unusual. And in the future, okay, right. I have to say, towards the end there, I was struggling. I think because I'm trying very hard to include today's vocabulary, but opinion, couldn't really develop on what I had said. So if the time had continued, I would have moved quickly to future and talked about coming back here in the future. Good, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's do some part 3s. Do you think it's important to know about other cultures? Yeah, it's very important to know about other cultures and to, as much as possible, experience other cultures. I think that's really important for people. I think if you don't do that, you're going to have a lot of stereotypes of other people and the way they live their life. And that's not fair, because very often our stereotypes are wrong. In my case, I definitely had an image of Indians, for example. I don't know where I had my kind of stereotype of Indians, but I suppose I formed it through the media. But when I was in Australia, I met a lot of Indian people, and they were wonderful and very kind and very gentle. So that really changed my image of Indian people and of Indian culture, and I'm very curious about it now. What do you think is the best way to learn about another culture? I think nowadays, through globalization, you can just go out your front door and experience a lot. Especially if you live in a large city. Things like, American food, maybe British food, certainly things like Indian and Chinese food are ubiquitous in a lot of cities. I know that to be true in London. So some people may say you need to travel, but I think nowadays you can experience quite a lot of culture from your own home or your own home country. So just get out there and be open-minded. Right, how am I doing, by the way? I'm looking at the list now. I feel like I've done the majority already, but I can see 2 I believe I haven't done. I never know until I edit the video, so if I fail, then I am sorry. Last question. What negative effects might come from a country losing its traditional cultures? I think that the main effect will be you will lose wonderful aspects of your culture, like festivals and food and clothing. A lot of these things are handed down from generation to generation. So it's really important that we continue doing that. The younger demographic in Korea, for example, are starting to, not enjoy the festivals so much. They're not traveling to their homeland, their hometown. And I think that's causing things like Thanksgiving to become a less important holiday, and therefore something that's losing the wonderful culture that's surrounding that holiday, which I think is a shame. Okay, I think I did it. Did I? Were there 10 beeps? I'm not sure. I'll find out later, but hopefully. And I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Nation and culture, such an important one, right? Not just for IELTS, but for anything. So please review today's handout, which you can find on www.jax-english.com. Thank you for watching today or listening today. Please like on your podcast platform, like on YouTube, comment, and become part of the IELTS Plus community. Thank you again, and I will see you very soon. And please, as always, study hard. Bye-bye.